So he did pie that off, which is a great CQB tactic. You want to be able to see the enemy before they see you. I should be able to see their shoulder before they see me, so I can engage them before they see me. You want maximum amount of cover, and you're finding that little keyhole where you can just, put rounds. Firefights are all a game of angles. My name is Cameron Fath. I'm a former Army Ranger out of 2nd Ranger Battalion out of Fort Lewis, Washington, and I am here with my partner in crime,
Israel Wright, former Green Beret, also out of Fort Lewis, Washington, deployed to Iraq in 2008. And today we're going to be looking at gameplay from Rainbow Six Siege, team gameplay, a little bit of team tactics and stuff like that.
I know, it looks super good on paper. I'm excited to see it on the screen here and the use of tactics and team cohesion. Let's take a look at it.
Right.
Okay, look at that.
Good old-fashioned team action.
Grappling hook.
Oh, that's quite a system you got in place.
This is very interesting. Look, he's just walking along.
Knocking out the window with a butt stock. Not exactly the best breaching weapon.
Oh, breaching weapon nonetheless. He's doing a lot of
canting.
Yeah.
Classic canting.
I feel like when you're walking down, you're supposed to be at the high ready, right? If you're walking with your eye through your optic, you're losing a lot of visuals there. So, I mean, if you're walking down here, definitely be at a high ready, but it takes a millisecond to come from here to here. And those gun hands are definitely going to be in the thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell this fighter, he definitely knows, he's got good timing on checking the corners. He knows this environment very well. Obviously played it through a lot before, making his own doorways, smash them through and stuff.
I did a little research before we reviewed this game is, you have two oppositions. So you have your defensive force and then you have your assaulting force. And like, you have a time period before the game actually commences to where defensive forces can set up, obstacles and booby traps and whatnot. And I think that's kind of cool, just like that wall was there, they set that up. And then the assault force can actually do reconnaissance they can run drone footage.
Yeah.
And like kind of see where they're setting up obstacles in order to mitigate those. I like that aspect of this multiplayer. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
And adds a lot of real value to it.
It's cool. It's still got a strong community. I think it came out in 2015. So I still have people come in and ask like, oh, are you gonna play Rainbow Six Siege? I'm like, I'll get to it.
Calm down. Look at that guy's glasses. Is he Swedish?
Yeah, I love that.
Hi, I'm from Holland. Isn't
I'm
that
just taking
weird?
a nap on these stairs right by the barbed wire. I don't know why. I don't know why I sound like this.
Single panel?
This is a little drone. Oh yeah, AR-33. A lot of these video games have guns that I've never heard of. It's just like, throw some words together.
Magic gun 3033.
Yeah. Doc that.
Another rifle 30.
So he did pie that off, which is a great CQB tactic when you're essentially making a pie chart from that doorway. Yeah, because you want to be able to see the enemy before they see you, and by utilizing a pie technique, your vantage point is based off that door corner there. So I should, in theory, if I execute this technique correctly, I should be able to see their shoulder before they see me, so I can engage them before they see me. Yeah, it's a great technique.
I'm on fire. Smoke.
Typically, we would do it every time before we go in a breach instead of just blindly walking through a doorway.
Right,
you definitely want maximum security, especially in this type of environment.
MP5 now? Is that what we got?
G8A1. Never heard of her.
Looks like an MP5.
He needs to get out of his optic, though, because he's...
Yeah, it's quite an optic you got there, son.
Round 4.
Standing on top of the foosball machine.
Yeah, foosball.
Great advantage point.
Interesting, because especially if you're canting, if you're a right-handed shooter and you're canting left, just switch hands and, work that corner. Keep behind that corner. We train a lot of transition drills, so like you won't be shooting right-handed the entire time, because your terrain dictates it. See, if he's on the left side of this door, right-handed shooters benefit, but if you're gonna switch to that right side, you might as well switch hands. So
interesting, I remember less training with switching. I just remember that just wasn't something that we emphasized when we were training.
Yeah, as time continues to by, tactics evolve, new technology comes out. We're starting to find some things that we did prior just don't make sense anymore. There's safer ways to do these actions. Like breaching, everyone thinks, as far as entering, everyone thinks just stack up and go in. Well, now we're starting to find that, that there's more threat and there's more dangers to doing that. So by doing a really nice methodical pie of that door and then entering, and it's like if you're taking contact from a building and you don't need to go in there, why risk entry? And that's a lot of the things that I notice fail in training. It's just because they don't really give you this play to actually think on your feet. It's just like, go in this building, shoot everybody in there, training completed. It's like, okay.
You mean they give them a set of rules rather than trying to train the principles that help to guide a decision rather than just do that thing?
Yeah, exactly. Promoting more of a thinking mentality instead of just a shooting mentality would benefit, units. Nice pistol, man.
Yeah,
just
I love
shooting. Just bang, bang, bang. Cool. Ooh, we got a little P90 action. That's a cool weapon system, man. Bullpups. They're pretty
Never
slept
used
on.
them. Yeah.
Me neither, but I appreciate the concept.
Right.
You can
Puts
achieve,
everything kind of closer to the shoulder. The
yeah,
action
you can achieve a longer barrel length with a shorter gun because the feeding or the magazine and where the actual chamber is behind the trigger mechanism, so you can get a longer barrel instead of having a magazine up here and then having the same length barrel. I can push it back and have a more condensed weapon platform. But yeah, the P90 is really cool because it uses a 5.7 round, which is really interchangeable with like FN. Typically makes their weapons really interchangeable. So if I can run a P90 and then like an FN 5.7 pistol, I can literally use the same ammo on each. And it has the velocity on that round is super cool too.
Got him. Good call.
Nice. I love the shooting through the floorboards above there.
Go.
This game's cool because it has a lot of realistic tactics that you can use, like shooting through walls, which I mean, you have to be careful as long as you know who's on the other side.
You're very careful.
But I like the fact that you can create holes in the walls and shoot through those and breach walls. That's the coolest thing that I found in here. You don't always have to use the front door. You can make your own.
Fire back.
Communication.
Little communication in the gamer world.
Any team you're on, you got to have that shorthand communication. You got to be able to communicate well. And
I'm really surprised for a first-person shooter multiplayer, there's not a lot of calling mothers in this game. I like how they incorporate a compass because that makes, communication a lot simpler, especially when you can be like, orientation as far as where you are. And that's a big thing. One of the things that I found extremely challenging as like a team leader and when you're communicating over the radio, especially as far as positioning and whatnot, it's like trying to communicate, hey, I'm on the south side of building 3-2. It's like, that's really challenging. And especially when you get off the helicopter, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, where the helicopter lands you in a different area where you think you're landing and then all of a sudden you're like, what is
there's
happening?
a moment of confusion, like nothing looks how I thought it was gonna look.
Exactly, and then you're like trying to figure out on the fly where you are and where you have to go, and everything looks the same. And it's like it's dark outside, and like there's some buildings there, but like some of them are 2 stories, some of them are 1 stories, but on the GRG it's just an aerial. So you're like, I don't know. Everything's just a square as far as I know. It's a square with numbers on it. And it's trying to orient yourself. But new technologies came out to where it really, like you can have a cell phone that shows you your positioning as far as real-time GPS, which is the ATAC, and that thing was awesome. It saved my ass. But guys like in your generation had to use the football sleeve with the GRG in it. And that was, I had to do that for a little bit before we got these phones, but that was a challenge in itself.
I've seen a lot of finding that little keyhole, like that smallest amount of space possible to shoot, to still be able to shoot and find your target,
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the pie technique. It's you want maximum amount of cover and you're finding that little keyhole where you can just, put rounds down to engage your target, which is great, and that's why I appreciate firefights are all a game of angles. Do you customize the gloves in multiplayer?
If you can't, I mean, you can customize those weapons, like the frosty look, the neon green and purple. Oh, but you gotta have the same glove.
The one thing about video games that I'm like kind of about is when you're reloading, every time they're like, I shoot like 3 rounds, I don't want a fresh mag in. It's like, in real life, if you would do that, you just lost. You just lost that round. Or you have to reposition that in the back of your stack. But you're gonna have a magazine with like, that's half full.
Yeah.
And you can't just put a fresh one in and just expect those bullets to magically reload themselves into a fresh mag.
Right.
Yeah, so you have to be conscious. I mean, it's always good to have, 30 round mags in. Be conscious if you're doing this in real life, which I hope you kids aren't.
Unless it's like milsim.
Yeah, unless you're doing like airsoft, but be conscious of where you put that half full mag. Always put it in the back of wherever you're going. So if you're working left to right with your reloads, put it all the way far right.
We never had any, we had surveillance equipment, stuff like that they're using, but it took a long time to set up and tear down, and it was specifically for a certain mission. We wouldn't use it in the middle of an assault or anything like that. Any explosives experience? Any experience with any kind of finding any ordnance on site and stuff? I know that a lot of times when we would go out, it's a bomb maker, we got to get him, and then we would search the whole property and we would dig under, we'd unearth some stuff, old ordnance and stuff, and then we'd have to lay it all out, categorize it and stuff. And if it was out far enough and we could do it, we might just blow it in place.
No, man, I didn't get enough experience with the EOD tags. I mean, most of the time we would have EOD attached to it.
Yes.
So anytime we would come across ordnance in training or in real life, we would have those guys come up and check it out. But as far as me sitting there beating sweat and like trying to cut, is it red wire or green wire? No, I never had to do that. But yeah, that's EOD's game.
Yes.
That's a complicated thing. They would definitely come down and like talk to us about the type of explosives we may encounter, like how to identify and stuff. And we ran EOD lanes in training. But yeah, thank God I never had to come across any of that.
If there was anything we had to like blow in place or anything like that, usually our engineer, our 18 Charlie would have more experience with that.
Exactly, just got BIP it. BIP stands for blow in place. Big old magnified optic on a tiny little submachine gun.
Whatever floats your boat, man.
That's a real 1980s movie commando type of weapon right there.
Just because it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks super cool. Let me put this giant, 10 by 25 magnified optic on this submachine gun because
it's bigger than
why the not? Oh, gets.
Oh, just waiting for him. Just waiting for him. Getting low. I like that. Out of his line of sight.
Yeah, I wish they would make like, that character had a gas mask on. I wish it would like really give you the gas mask experience of it's hard to breathe, you're hot and sweaty.
It's fogging up, yeah.
It's fogging up. Just because it looks cool doesn't mean it's practical, man. Yeah, mop gear was not a fun thing to fight.
You don't generally really ever want to have it on unless you need to have it on.
Yeah, and even that, I'm still.
Yeah.
I'll breathe some gas in. See the pie technique.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Very popular here, yeah. I can see why though. From the look of this gameplay, like if you expose even your shoulder, like
you're done. Dude, firefights are all a game of angles, especially in CQB. That's why they're starting to really train. Just, using cover to your advantage and not just committing to a doorway if you don't have to. If you can fight from cover, like if I can fight from that doorway and I don't have to, go in and create my L shape and whatnot, I'm not gonna be an idiot and especially expose my team to possibly taking casualties. It's like I'm gonna fight from that doorway and I'm gonna try to frag the out of that door, or I'm gonna try to use any piece of equipment that'll give me tactical advantage, flashbangs, my clear by fire, and I'm gonna get in there. I will get in there, but eventually, and I'll do it safely.
That's very smart.
Safe for me, not for the enemy.